Good afternoon, ladies, gentlemen, boys and girls. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Big Akar Ahmed and welcome to today's video. Today we're going to be talking about our Palestinian brothers and sisters, what is happening currently there today. Apparently 200 people have been killed. 4 Israeli hostages have been returned to Israel and saved. We're going to go ahead and jump into a reaction of a gentleman named Corey Gill Schuster, who goes ahead and goes around Israel in the Palestinian area and goes ahead and asks Jews and Muslims and Christians alike in this area different questions that are sent into him live on the street so we can get a first-hand experience on what they feel and what they react to. What we're going to be reacting to by him is going to be recorded pre-October 7th, so this is before all the propaganda, all of the brainwashing, all of the news, all of the pressure between this war, between this genocide that has been happening has came out. So be very, very aware of that the answers that are given here are very objective or very subjective to pre-October the 7th. And then we're going to go ahead and look at a map and see how, the IDF has pushed the Palestinian civilians and the Palestinian people all the way to the south of Gaza and has trapped them almost in like a backyard scenario and has forced them into a corner. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the reaction from Corey, going ahead and asking the Israeli settlers, who do you hate more, Palestinians or leftist Israelis? And leftists are people who go against the fold of the government. They're people who basically are going to go ahead and side with the Palestinians. So they're asking, who do you hate more, the Israelis who side with the Palestinians or the Palestinians themselves?
Who do you hate more, leftists or Arabs?
I don't hate.
No?
I think you can speak to anybody. You can find something common that you can speak about to anybody, and I don't hate people.
מי אתה שונא יותר, יהודים שמאלנים או ערבים?
הם אותו דבר.
מי אתה שונא?
So interesting. The first lady go ahead and said, I don't hate anyone. You can find, something common between everyone, even your worst enemy. You can go ahead and find common grounds. The second guy said they're both the same thing. They both have the same ideology. The leftists want, the same things that the Palestinians want. They just want the same exact type of, thing to happen. My issue with this question here is who do you hate? The word hate is a very, very strong word. And when you use the word hate, you put someone on defense. So unless the person that you're asking is immediately racist or hateful towards a certain group of people, they're not going to answer the question. They're going to say, I don't hate anyone. What are you talking about? I love people. And the only thing I compare this to is my personal experiences, right? If you came up to me and you asked me, why do you hate Arabs? Why do you hate, black people? I'm going to be like, I don't hate black people. I don't hate Arabs. What are you talking about? Now, if you ask me, what issues do you have within the Arab communities of America? I give you a whole list. If you came up to me and asked me, what issues do you have within the black communities of America, I'd give you a whole list, right? So there's a difference. I'd give you an objective answer based on my experiences, based on what I've realized. I was born and raised in Detroit, Michigan. And Detroit has one of the highest crime rates, not just in the United States of America, but the whole entire world. And this is a poverty-stricken area that is majority black, right? I have black friends. I have gone to these areas. I have black friends who have lived in these situations, that have gone ahead and experienced life in the hood, in these poverty-stricken areas, that have gone through it, that have had to deal with gang violence and had to deal with drugs and had to deal with these things. Now, if you come up to me and you ask me, what do you hate? Do you hate black people? I'm going to tell you no. But do I hate a lot of things that happen in these poverty-stricken areas that are black communities? Yes. I have a very big problem with a lot of them. I have a very big problem with how rap music glorifies these things that have affected my friends, my family members in real life, in real time. This is something that is a big, big problem, right? Detroit is home to the largest trafficking of heroin in the world. The suicide rate, the homicide rate, the rate of people that are homeless and on drugs in Detroit, the rate of single mothers in Detroit, the rate of, gangbanging and gangs and selling of drugs. And these are very, very big issues, right? When I'm in Detroit, right, and I used to go through specific areas, or I used to be with my friends, or I had to go, pick something up here, or I had to go, my friend's house and go through these specific areas, I was scared, bro. There's times I've been very intimidated. There's times I've been at gas stations and I've dealt with specific situations that I really just shouldn't have been in, right? And this is the culture. This is what has happened. This is the environmental effects, not of being black, not of being Mexican, not of being Arab, right? Because those are the people who are in those areas in Detroit, Michigan. That has nothing to do with the race. It has to do with the environment, and it has to do with what they've gone through. So asking this question here, right, to say, do you hate Palestinians more or do you hate Israeli leftists more, is not a question that you're going to get an answer to unless this person is directly racist. It's like asking someone, do you hate black people in the United States of America? Like, you ask me if I hate black people, I'm going to tell you no, because I don't hate black people. I love all people. But if you ask me what do I hate about the poverty-stricken black areas like Detroit, Chicago, Compton in the United States of America, I'll give you a whole book, man, because I've been affected by them. I've seen them. My friends, my black friends have been affected by them. My black friends' families have been affected by them. They've lost their brothers. They've lost their cousins. They've lost their aunts and uncles to these systematic problems that are happening within the communities. So it has nothing to do with black people. It has to do with the environment that these people are placed under. It's like a lab test. You take a rat and you put it inside of a box and then you test it under different conditions, and then you see a pattern in the rat's behavior. We're human beings. We work in the same exact way. So it doesn't matter if you're black, white, Egyptian, Jewish, Chinese. It doesn't matter. You're going to go ahead and react to your environment. So in this situation, unless Palestinians know how Israelis feel in their situation, they're not going to know. And unless Israelis know what it's like to be in the Palestinian situation, they're not going to know, right? These Palestinians, Israelis probably look like, they just live in poverty-stricken areas and they're dirty Arabs and they do this and all they want to do is commit crime. And yeah, well, when they live in an area where their family members are being killed and they have no food and they have no water and they're living under an apartheid state and someone's controlling them and someone's dropping bombs on their head and someone's taking their land for 50 years plus, you really don't understand what that does to the human being. You don't understand what happens to that rat when you put him in a box and you do that to him, right? And this is how people need to understand and think, is more objectively. But when you ask someone, do you hate this person more, you hate this person more, the only person that's going to answer this question, Corey, is someone who actually hates Arabs, who actually hates Palestinians. And it's going to be really, really hard to find someone who really has hate, like they hate someone in their heart. Now, after October 7th, after all this propaganda, after all of these issues, yeah, there is a complete difference of what's going on here. This was recorded before October the 7th. You need to do the same exact type of video here after October 7th. Like right now, current day, you need to go into Israel and ask the same exact question, because I have a really big feeling you're going to get a completely different set of people giving you different answers here, because they actually have hatred towards the Arabs now.
יותר, שמאלנים או ערבים?
לא שמאלנים ולא ערבים.
למה?
לא שונא אותם, אני חושב שכל אדם בעולם בכלל צריך לחיות בחברותה ובהנאה ובשלום ובאחווה.
האם את שונאת יותר יהודים שמאלנים או ערבים?
לא שונאת.
לא שונאת?
כולם אחים שלי.
כן? אפילו ערבים? אפילו פלסטינאים?
אפילו.
האם, מי אתה שונא יותר? שמאלנים או ערבים?
אני לא שונא אף אחד.
למה?
למה אני לא שונא?
כן.
לשנוא זה לא דבר טוב, זה לא מידה טובה.
מי אתה שונא יותר? שמאלנים או ערבים?
He's like, I don't hate anyone. It's not a good trait. Like, if you ask him, what is your problem with Palestinian people and culture and what's happening, it's different. He's going to give you a whole list of things. Once again, it doesn't mean he hates them.
לא שונא אף אחד, אבל ערבים קצת יותר, אבל לא שונא.
לא שונא?
לא.
למה?
למה? כי הם בני אדם, למה לא שונא אותם?
מי אתה שונא יותר, שמאלנים או ערבים?
לא את אלו ולא את אלו.
למה?
כי למה צריך לשנוא?
לא יודע.
Yeah, see, no one hates. I can't wait to find there has to be like a racist in this video.
שואלים?
לא שונא לא את אלו ולא את אלו. יש דעות לכל אחד, כל אחד יש לו אינטרסים. כל אחד עם התפיסות עולם שלו, הכל בסדר.
מי את שונאת יותר, שמאלנים או ערבים?
אנשים שלא מאמינים באלוהים.
אתאיסטים? כמוני?
אנשים שלא מבינים שצריך להיות אהבת חינם.
את באמת שונאת אתאיסטים?
He's offended now because Corey here is an atheist. He's a Jewish person who goes ahead and resides within Israel and asks them all these questions, but he's atheist. He doesn't believe in God. And I find this very, very, very odd. I find it's a very odd thing to be Jewish, right? Be some of the original believers in God Almighty and in, faith, and believe that this land is given to you by God. It's your chosen land by God. And then be atheist, which is a lot of people within Israel, which I find very contradictory.
למה? אני לא שונאת אתאיסטים, אני שונאת את אלו שבכלל לא מכבדים אחד את השני.
מי את שונאת יותר, שמאלנים או ערבים?
שמאלנים.
למה?
כי הם מהעם שלי, והם הולכים נגדנו.
So she answered right away. She hates people. She's racist. So let's go ahead and rewatch this.
מי את שונאת יותר, שמאלנים או ערבים?
שמאלנים.
למה?
כי הם מהעם שלי, והם הולכים נגדנו, ובעיניי זה הרבה יותר גרוע, להיות בוגד.
עד כדי, כאילו, כמה את שונאת אותם?
אני לא שונאת אותם ביום-יום שלי. כשאני רואה אותם מפגינים, מרימים דגלים של הערבים, אז אני שונאת אותם.
פלסטיני, דגל פלסטיני.
של הפלסטינים, אז אני שונאת אותם. אבל רוב הזמן אני לא מתעסקת בלשנוא אותם.
אבל הם רוצים שלום, הם רוצים שיהיה שלום עם הערבים. את לא רוצה שלום עם הערבים?
לא, אני לא מאמין.
He said they want peace with the Arabs. Do you want peace with the Arabs? She said, no, I don't believe there can be peace with the Arabs.
שיכול להיות שלום עם הערבים.
את רוצה שיהיה?
לא, אני פשוט לא רוצה
No, I simply don't want them living here.
שהם יחיו כאן.
Guys, if you want to see more videos like these,
אני פשוט לא רוצה שהם...
This right here. This is the person that's going to answer your question. The racist. The one who actually hates a specific group of people. She hates Palestinians. She hates Arabs. Which means she hates the leftists in her country. She hates the people who side with any Palestinian, any Arab. She hates them. And she hates them more than the Arab because they're traitors in her eyes, right? So this is wild, in my opinion, because like I said before, the only person that's going to answer this question, because you're directly asking someone, do you hate this person more or do you hate this person more? The only person that's going to answer that question is someone who's actually racist or someone who hates a specific group of people, which is this woman right here. She doesn't want them living there. She doesn't want peace with them. She doesn't believe in peace with them. She doesn't like them. She dislikes them. She dislikes anyone that sides with them. She dislikes anyone that thinks similar in any type of way to them. If they're getting blown up and destroyed and someone goes, hey, stop blowing up and destroying, she hates you. You're a traitor. And this is the mindset of a hateful or racist person right here. And this question is a very good question to go ahead and get a racist person to answer. But most people aren't going to answer this question. They're going to say, I don't hate anyone. I have no reason to hate anyone. And they're going to move on from that point. Let's go ahead and check the current news that's happening here today.
4 hostages are brought back home after Israeli special forces conducted an operation in the residential neighborhood of Nusayrat in Gaza. The freed hostages appeared to be in good condition and were sent directly to a hospital.
You know what's interesting? Is the condition of the hostages. They're in great condition, right? They're in good condition. They were sent to a hospital so to be double checked up and everything of this nature. Imagine being kidnapped and being held for almost 8 months now by the worst human beings on the planet, terrorists who behead babies and burn families alive, right? And the hostages return 8 months later after being captured in great condition. Imagine being captured by Michael Myers, a murderer serial killer, right? And being in good condition after 8 months. So when we look at the news and we look at the propaganda, Hamas are the terrorists, they're ISIS, they behead babies, they burn people alive. They hate the Jews. They can't wait to extinguish all Jews. They want to kill all Jews and take all of the land. They're literally holding Jewish hostages that are in great condition. You would think like they get beat up. You would think that they would be in some type of poor condition. They weren't fed properly. Something, man. But they returned in good condition. Imagine being left with terrorists that behead babies and want to exterminate all Jews, and you're Jewish, being captive by these people, these evil human beings, for 8 months and coming back in good condition. It's very interesting. It makes you think that the propaganda and the garbage that is placed in our media is not really, telling the truth, or at least it's heightened to mass amounts of length.
This morning at 11 a.m., Israeli Special Forces conducted complex hostage rescue mission and successfully rescued 4 of our hostages from Hamas captivity in Gaza. Noar Gamani, Almog Meir Jan, Shlomi Ziv, and Andrei Kozlov. They are back home in Israel. They are alive. They are well. They will undergo medical examination and will soon be reunited with their families in the hospital.
While Israel claims the operation was a success, the cost of that success was, once again, the lives of Palestinians. Bombs rained down on civilians as Israeli special forces conducted their operations, killing hundreds and injuring many more.
We were in Nuseirat camp. Special forces arrived from an Apache helicopter, and there was a white car with special forces. The Apache started to bomb and fire directly at people. There is a large number of martyrs and injured people. People fled. There is a big number of displaced people. Schools and hospitals are filled with displaced people. There is a large number of martyrs, and firing was direct. We brought 10 injured people in one ambulance. One of them was shot directly. We barely made it out through the alleyways.
We were at home. A rocket hit us. My 2 cousins died and my other cousins were seriously injured. They did nothing. They were sitting at home.
Imagine just sitting at home, trying to survive with your cousins. A rocket hits you. 2 of your cousins die. 2 of your cousins are seriously injured. Like, as a civilian that's just trying to live, trying to survive, that's probably been pushed 3 times throughout your landmass. Really? Like, really? Is that the price that they really have to pay to save hostages that are in good condition? It really is sickening to me that the world is so desensitized. And no matter how much people are protesting, no matter how much people pretend to care, the world's desensitized, ladies and gentlemen. They see clips and pictures and all of this stuff of dismantled bodies. You should be throwing up on command when you see something like this. When you look at the comments underneath some of these videos, some of these pictures, if you go on X and you look up Israel, you look up Gaza, right? And you start seeing the images and the videos of people's bodies in Palestine, underneath it's just like people saying, good, this is what they deserve for Hamas, for October the 7th. Never forget October the 7th. These people deserve it. This is what happens when you mess with Israel. Like, you are sick in the head. The video games, the movies, everything is desensitizing us. We've been desensitized sexually by gay pride and the movies and porn and OnlyFans. Sell your body, it's okay. We've been sexually desensitized to think it's okay to commit fornication, to commit adultery, to do all these things. That's why the divorce rates look the way that they're looking. That's why kids are having intercourse at the age of 13 all over the place, having boyfriends and girlfriends, doing whatever they want. We are, visually desensitized to violence through video games, like war games and Grand Theft Auto and, TV and the news and the media and everything that's happening, and the way that we speak to one another in rap music, and I shoot you in the head and I kill you and I take your money, and like all of these things that are within our culture that are completely desensitizing us to everything that we see, everything that we hear. Yeah, you might care You might talk about it, but your brain really is not responding to the actual, like, weight of what's happening. Your brain really doesn't understand about the weight of what's happening. And it's very, very sad to see the world on standby watching what's happening. And as Israel continues to do what they're going to do, and they will continue to do what they're going to do, they will face the repercussions of the areas around them, of the world around them. Lebanon has already started messing with them, bombing their military bases and things of this nature in the north. And Israel may go into a full-fledged war with Lebanon. And if they do, this is going to escalate much, much more, because Lebanon is an actual country, right? This is a country that is verified on the map and has been verified on the map for 100 years. This isn't like a debate between, is Palestine a country or not a country? We all know Palestine's a country. We know Palestinian people are who they are, right? They have an identity. They have a country. But to go ahead and start with Iran, to go ahead and start with Lebanon and Yemen and these actual countries that are large scale, that have large amounts of trade, that go ahead and have allies, good luck.
Some say the operation also rescued Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. On May 18th, Benny Gantz, leader of Israel's opposition National Unity Party and a member of the government's war cabinet, gave Netanyahu until June 8th to present a plan for ending the war in Gaza. He was set to give a speech, which many assumed would announce his party's withdrawal from the coalition. But Gantz has now cancelled his speech after the hostage rescue operation.
So that was basically just like a big propaganda stunt to go ahead and let Netanyahu continue what he was doing. I'm going to go directly against Netanyahu as the Israeli government to go ahead and make it look to the world that we aren't with everything Netanyahu's doing. But as soon as the deadline comes up, within 2 days of the deadline coming up, we're going to cancel our whole entire plan of going against Netanyahu and let him continue what he's doing. Because he saved 4 hostages on the exact deadline date. Amazing.
Allowing Netanyahu and his right-wing allies to continue their brutal onslaught across Gaza. İlyas Avcı, TRT World.
It's truly sad. We're going to go ahead and look at this map right here. This is going to show how...
Let's turn now to Marwan Bashara. He's Al Jazeera's senior...
No, we're going to pause that. This is going to show us how everything has basically taken place. So this is North Gaza. They told everyone, flank south, flank south, flank south. We need to get rid of Hamas. Then boom, boom, boom, boom, boom. Flank south, flank south, flank south. Go south, go south. It's safe in the south. It's safe in the south. So all the Palestinians go. They start moving south. Boom, boom, boom, boom, boom. Go south, go south, go south. We need to get rid of Hamas. We need to get rid of Hamas. We need to get rid of Hamas. Go south, go south, go south. So they go south again, thinking that they're going to be safe. Boom, boom, boom, boom, boom, boom. Go south, go south, go south, go south. You're safe. You're safe in Rafah. You're safe in Rafah. And this is current day. This is what we're dealing with today. They are literally trapped against the border of Egypt and their own borders. And Israel has put them into a corner and is completely bombing and destroying them. The whole entire north side of their country, complete country, is destroyed and uncivilized now. There's no one left at all in the south. They're all in the south, piled up together. 2 million people. Over 30,000 people confirmed dead, 35,000 people confirmed dead, and probably so much more, ladies and gentlemen, because these deaths have not been confirmed, because you need names, you need bodies, you need all of these things that span across the whole entire Gaza Strip. And this is disgusting. The things that we have seen, the atrocities that we have seen over in the Middle East over the last 20 to 30 years in Iraq and Afghanistan and Syria, and, you know, all of these countries around the Middle East, in Yemen, the famine, the things that are happening in Bahrain, in Egypt, in Libya, with the overthrowing of their governments. These are things that are very sickening. To see what is happening in Palestine, to see what is happening in Gaza, in the West Bank, with the illegal occupation, in Gaza, with the illegal, war crimes of blowing them up from the sky, killing over 35,000 people, more than half of them being women and children. This is truly disgusting. And how many Hamas have they actually killed? How many, people have they actually taken out? The same horrible Hamas terrorists that keep the Israeli soldiers the Israeli, hostages in great condition when they return, are the same ones that are the worst terrorists in the world. They behead babies and they burn people alive. This propaganda is quite sickening. And what we're seeing here is a plan that has been taking place for the last 50 years, 60 years, and something that has been undergoing complete attack and siege from the United States of America, Israel, Saudi Arabia, Great Britain for the last 20, 25 years, since 9/11, a little bit before 9/11, in the Middle East as a collective. And it's something that needs to be talked about. It's something that needs to be, fully exposed from the inside, the outside. Our taxpayer dollars pay for this. What can we do in the United States of America? Do we strap up and go to war? No, we can't. It's across the Atlantic Ocean. Like, what are we supposed to do? Yeah, are some of the countries in the Middle East doing something about it? And what's interesting is the Shia populations that are doing anything about it. It's the Shia Lebanese, it's the Shia Iranians, it's the Shia Yemenis that are actually standing up and physically doing something about what's happening to their Palestinian brothers and sisters, that are actually protecting them. They're actually trying to do something, that are risking their countries, that are risking war with the Western powers, while Saudi Arabia and all of the other, large mainstream Muslim countries do nothing about it. They just sit there. The ones who actually have all the billions and billions of dollars, $1 trillion worth of weaponry, who could actually do something, who are allies with Israel and the West. This is such a sick thing to see happen. As Americans, what can we do? We can only go against our government and stand up and react to this, because we are the people. We should have control of everything, right? This is our country. It's a democracy. We're supposed to have freedoms. We're supposed to have rights. We're supposed to have the voice. We're supposed to choose. With an election coming up, don't get distracted with, we hate Donald Trump because he's this, and we hate Joe Biden because he's this. No, focus on objective things. Our economy is going to collapse. Our dollar is going to inflate so high that you're not going to be able to afford anything anymore. You're going to lose your house. You're going to lose your job. You're going to lose your cars. You're going to lose everything, and you're not going to be able to afford it anymore. And this is because why? The United States is printing money, taking your taxpayer dollars, taking your money, working you to death through labor jobs, to go ahead and send it to Israel, to go ahead and send it to Ukraine, to go ahead and send it to fund these proxy wars. They left $80 billion in weaponry to who? The Taliban in Afghanistan on the ground a couple years ago. Joe Biden decided to withdraw from Afghanistan, leave $80 billion. You know what $80 billion can do for us? That's insanity, ladies and gentlemen. And it's very, very, very sad to see what is happening today. And I cannot believe my eyes. I cannot believe my ears. And as American citizens, if you want to worry about yourself, if you want to worry about America first, because I hear this a lot, we need to worry about America first, not Palestine. You need to worry about Palestine if you worry about America. You need to worry about Ukraine if you're worried about America. You need to worry about where your money's going, that you work and you bust your butt for, why your dollar's inflating, why your house went from $100,000 to $300,000 to $500,000, and now nobody from my generation can get a house. Why the cars have gone from $30,000 to $80,000. Why bananas went from 50 cents a banana to $3 a banana. You need to figure out why our dollar is inflating. Why can't I afford anything? Why am I about to lose my job? Why is everything so expensive that I can't afford it anymore? Why are the interest rates at 10%? You need to understand these things because it's completely affecting you. And everything that the United States of America is doing, funding Israel, funding Ukraine, funding these proxy wars, trying to do these things and make foreign deals with other countries, that's what's destroying this country. That's what's affecting you. And you need to pay attention to that. You need to stand against that because we are the people, right? We're the ones who make the decisions. Yes, that's how we're going to stop this war. That's how we're going to stop the suffering of people across the planet, is to control our government. It's to fight against our government's abuse of power. We are their slaves. Man, I wish America was actually a democracy and the people actually were able to make a difference. But they don't. They don't make a difference. They don't change anything, actually. And all they've done is brainwashed my generation and below to think like idiots. Well, our parents are going to die. Our grandparents are going to die. And then what? What are we left with? A bunch of people who don't know how to use their brain. Oh, my feelings. Please don't hurt our feelings. That's what we're going to be left with. LGBTQI. You know, I'm offended because you hate my religion. I'm offended because this. I'm offended because this. A bunch of people who hate each other because they're offended by each other. That's what we're going to be left with. We're going to be left with a bunch of idiots. A bunch of people who do TikTok dances and stuff. This is what we're going to be left with. I'm so worried about the state of our culture, the state of our country, the state of everything, and what is going to happen. I'm very fearful of this. And a lot of this is going to happen within the next couple years. What you are seeing in Palestine to these people is going to affect you. What you are seeing in Ukraine is going to affect you. What you're seeing with all these foreign deals, what you're seeing happen to Venezuela as the United States has sucked Venezuela dry, has destroyed their economy from the inside out, has inflated the dollar so high that they can't even live, is going to affect us. It's inflating our dollar. It's destroying us. You're going to see it happen. You don't care about Palestine. You don't care about what's happening to the people in Gaza. You don't care about Ukraine. You don't care about, Venezuela and what the United States has done to these countries. It's going to affect you and you're going to care. But it's going to be way too late. Way too late. Stand up, wake up, and understand what's going on. Don't think, oh, I don't care about any of these other countries. America first. We need to fix our problems. Fixing their problems is fixing our problems. We have our problems because we're causing their problems. Wake up. God bless every single one of you. Free my brothers and sisters in Palestine. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide them and protect them in this hard time that they're going and undergoing. Thank you guys so much for coming in and reacting to the clips here of us interviewing the Israeli settlers. Thank you for coming in today and seeing the modern day news. The 200 dead, the 4 Israeli soldiers, the 4 Israeli hostages that have been basically saved and brought back to Israel in great condition. And then going ahead and checking out the map here of how every single Palestinian has been pushed into basically a small backyard corner so they can be bombed and exploded and they can find the rest of these hostages and take out Hamas. Thank you so much for coming in today once again, and free Palestine as always.